Film Development Hell, Day 50. Pitch decks, why, when, and who are they for, is the name of this video. Why? Well, my name is Deborah Richards, and I am an independent film director from Las Vegas. And if you're new to this channel, this is a daily long-form, deep dive vlog into the realities of being an independent film director. Now that you're all caught up to speed, let's talk about what's going on today. So, we've got a couple of weeks to the Cannes Film Festival. I can't even say it. We have a couple of weeks till the Cannes Film Festival in France. And while I'm not going, Patrick's not going, and Cookie certainly isn't going, we do have potentially two people representing us at the Cannes Film Festival. There will be Danielle, who's part of our 1905 team, and also we're excited that a friend of ours in England, Jane, may be representing the film over there as well. And so basically I've got to get together the one sheet for Danielle and Jane and some of our other stakeholders, and also I've got to get together the deck. Now, the one sheet is pretty simple, and actually did it the other day. The one sheet is literally as it sounds. It's one-sided piece of paper. What is it called? A4 pad? Just a regular, one page, and it'll have the title of your movie, the log line, maybe the movie poster or an image, and a synopsis and some contact details. And that's basically the bare minimum that you need for a one sheet. And it's actually difficult to have anything more than that on a one sheet because you don't have the real estate. So it's got to be pretty easy on the eye and attention grabbing and a conversation starter. So I made in yesterday's video, you saw me put together was it yesterday's or the day before? You saw me put together the one sheet for Scissormouth, which is our third feature and the film that we are in development for. So I just have to update the bottom of the page and say, contact Jane or contact Danielle or contact Marcus for whoever needs the one sheet, and send those out today. So that's an easy fix. But let's talk about pitch decks because that's what we're here for. So it's interesting because I think a lot of people think that a pitch deck is something you make once and is for one kind of person, like an investor. But the reality is, if you're a filmmaker, you're going to need different pitch decks at different times for different stakeholders. And I'll give you a very clear-cut example. Say you do a pitch deck to raise money to shoot your film, and you shoot your film, and then you need money for post-production. Well, now you might create a different pitch deck to raise finishing funds, for example. So I always think of the pitch deck as a living document, meaning it's fluid and it's changing and over time. So right now, I think the pitch deck that I'm going to make today is probably going to be maybe the fourth or fifth pitch deck that we've had for Scissormouth in the year and a half that we have been developing this project. Our last pitch deck, and if you're not familiar with pitch decks, they're literally like, a piece of paper put on its side, like landscape, and you have maybe anywhere between, I guess, just roughly 6 to 14 pages of the plan of the movie. And it's different from a business plan. It's a little bit more, less of a deep dive, less nuts and bolts, and more kind of aspirational or inspirational, and some of the things that you would include in a deck sheet are like, why us? Why now? What's our competitive advantage? What are the comps to other films? What is the budget? How are you going to raise the money? What's the recoupment schedule going to look like? Who are the people involved in the film? Who are you trying to cast in the film? All these kinds of things are typical things that you would see in a deck. And our last deck was quite hefty. I think it was maybe 12 pages, which is pretty hefty, but it was very data heavy. It had a lot of facts and numbers and look at this number and look at this fact and look at this. And this time I want to recreate the deck using some of the data from the original deck. But I've also created some recent concept art that we're all very excited about for the project. And I created that in ChatGPT and Photoshop and Krea AI. But the concept art is really, really good. And I want to use it for the new deck. And what I want to do is actually make a more concise version of the deck. I want to make it half as long, maybe, and focus more on the visual tone and language of the film and less on the nuts and bolts and numbers. I think this is the way for us right now because we're off to a pretty good start putting this film together. We already have a star attached, Johnny Pemberton. We have a CSA casting director. One of our co-producers, Marcus, was the co-producer on Terrifier 2. Obviously we've got Pat at the helm, who's a Emmy-nominated director in his own right, and a 4-time Emmy-winning director. So the basic chemistry of the team is pretty stacked. So now I want to be able to create something that the team can then use as less of a deal sealer and more of a conversation starter. And this is for like high level conversations with stakeholders, with distributors, or large private equity investors. So I think the goal is to have something that really is visually pops and gets people very excited. And then when they're excited, they'll ask questions, and those answers will come from the last version of the deck where they're like, I know some people would be like, why make a mini version of the deck? Why don't include that you've got this and you've got that and this is going for it and that is going for it? And it's like, I'd rather entice people with the visual language of the film and the project and get them excited that way. Because at the end of the day, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a visual storyteller. Yeah, and if I can't get people on board with the visual language of a project, then I feel like I failed, right? So I want to get people like really vested in the visual language of the film, and that'll get them excited about the project, and that'll make them ask questions, and then it's all those. But what about you've got this and you've got that, and all those little cherries we can then pluck from there, and add to the conversation to seal the deal. I think this is the right approach. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Let's check in with Patrick. Patrick, how you doing, man?
Good.
What are you working on today? Here at 1905 Films, Las Vegas.
First, right now, my midday social media post. But we have to do the investors report for our first film for the fourth quarter 2024. So the last quarter of last year. We got our report from our distributor, Indie Rights. So I'm just repackaging it and including more information.
And writing to the
And
investors.
writing to the investors. So I think I have it done. I'd like for you to look over it before I send it out with the other information. But let me, you do your thing, and I gotta do the midday story post right now.
See, this is the reality of independent filmmaking. It's a small team, but actually the team's getting bigger. We're still waiting to hear back from that person of interest that we spoke to last week about joining us as a CFO for the company. And we have, just this morning we had a friend of ours, her name is Laurie, and she's joining the team to help out with some administrative tasks. And I believe a quick shout out to AJ, who is a dear friend of ours, an executive in the industry, and she's helping out with a little bit of admin as well. So the team is growing, and that's exciting. And of course, I checked in this morning as well with Marcus, one of our co-producers on Scissormouth. and we had a good chat. I was talking to him while I was putting my face on for this video, and we just caught up with all the latest and greatest and how we're going to move forward with certain things. And I promised him that I would get him a copy of the one sheet today with his name at the bottom. So before I dive into the deck, and I'm giving you guys a warning, I can't really show you much of the deck, which is why I wanted to speak so much about it. But before I dive into that, as you guys know, nothing happens without coffee. So let's coffee. Ooh, news just in. We got a review for Shaken and Stirred, which is our most recent film that we've made. And if you want to check out the trailer or rent or purchase it, you can do so below. But let's check out this review. What is this review from?
UK film review. So this is actually important because this is our first international attention, outside of the United States that we received for this film. So let's see.
That's exciting. Let's see what it says.
It says 4 out of 5 stars.
4 out of 5 stars. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, wow. The one below only got 1 out of 5.
Oh. All right, listen. We want to read out. Want to read out the review out loud?
The guy's name was Patrick Foley.
Oh, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
I think you Patricks are in cahoots.
Let me see. There he is, right there. That's Patrick right there. Okay, there's our trailer.
Okay, cool. All right, read it out loud.
Okay. Most people won't know that the fancy juggling tricks you see when ordering a margarita are not just a bored bartender's way of keeping themselves entertained or picking up girls. Flair bartending has a history that involves international contests, rigorous training, and competitive rivalries. And these are the subject of Deborah Richards' fantastic documentary, Shaken and Stirred. Okay, this will be our post for tomorrow. The feature-length film delves into the history of Flair bartending and how it emerged from established bars in the U.S. to become a worldwide phenomenon where competitors meet to try and outdo each other with ever more outlandish tricks with bottles, shakers, and more. The different forms of the art are discussed as well as organizational splits that mean different styles have emerged demanding different skill sets. The film covers one of these organizations and the competitors looking to become the best, showing their personal stories and meaning they found behind the bar. Shaken and Stirred is impressive, not just because of the detail it provides on Flair bartending, of which there's plenty. Its best quality is its critical, unflinching analysis, which highlights the struggles that Flair is experiencing at a competitive level. Much of the film is spent with female Flair competitors like Lindsay Palumbo, who speak openly about the experience of misogyny in the sport, which prioritize their appearance over their skill. The decline of the competition and events are highlighted as well, detailing a drop in interest since the Tom Cruise and cocktail-inspired peak. Richards allows her subjects to speak openly and honestly, and many happy to oblige, but clearly feels no obligation to give her own filter, a surprising and refreshing thing considering the access she has to the world of Flair. Different competitors in the FBA championships are highlighted throughout the film, such as Colby Ashton and Lorenzo Garcia, who discuss their backgrounds, standing, and how they came into Flair. It can be a little difficult to keep track of so many competitors at times, but the ensemble approach shows that Flair does not attract just one type of personality. Audiences will be invited to find their favorite among the group through a camaraderie, though a camaraderie is evident from Richard's presentation. Their tricks themselves are given ample airtime, with the bartender's abilities allowed to speak for themselves and destined to take audiences' breath away. These are not the guys flipping a shaker down at your local, and it shows. You could probably cut Shaken and Stirred down a little or rework some of the sequences of the film into more imaginatively present to more imaginatively present the competition alongside the history of Flair as a sport. But this film is a genuine, insightful, and engaged look at a world most of us will have been exposed to, but very few will know about. To entertain and inform is the simplest aim of any documentary, and Deborah Richards' film effortlessly achieves this. But as with the bartending world, it is the flair that makes it stand out, in this case from the film's in-depth and honest analysis and loving criticism. This is one film well worth raising a glass to.
Wow, that's a great review.
It's a really nice review.
It's a really nice review.
And a lot of nice use. Nice words for your approach to it too. So.
I feel like they got my approach to it because that's literally what I was trying to do with it.
Exactly.
Did I hear the front door?
Yeah.
Is there someone at the door? Anyone here? No, I'm just hearing sounds in my head. Just tapping my foot to the crazy rhythms in my head. No, that was a great review because, I always said that I didn't want to cast a spotlight on the world of Flair. I just wanted to let people, um, speak about it in their words, and I feel like they got that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, are you happy with that?
I am happy with that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Particularly since they knew nothing about the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good.
That's awesome. Yay. Review. I've been working for a couple hours now on the deck, and I'm pretty excited about how it's looking. I really, truly, honestly wish I could show you guys, but this is like top secret sensitive information. This is the secret sauce. This is why they pay us the IOUs. But Pat said I could share the cover page with you. So let me give you a little first look here at Scissormouth to give you a little bit of the vibe. So you can see up here we got the title, we got my name, we got a log line, we got a little bit of a movie poster going on, like some key art. And trust me guys, it is killing me. I wish I could show you what I'm working on.
But if you want to see examples of decks, just go online.
There you go. And honestly, if you sign up to be a 1905 Films insider on our website, I guarantee you will be the first to see any concept art, any cool stuff that we got coming down the pipeline. So if you go to 1905films.com and sign up there, I promise you, as a 1905 Films insider, you'll be the first to know. Yeah. So, if you like this long form content, that's about it for today, guys. I mean, I don't know what to say. I can, if you have any questions about decks, put them down below. Quick shout out to a friend of mine, Judah, who has this cool company called Deck Syndicate that makes decks. So, if you're looking for a deck, hit up Deck Syndicate because they're awesome. But yeah, my point was earlier that at different times in the project, you'll need different decks. And honestly, we've just done this mini deck that I've done. It's 7 pages. There's the first page with the title, logline, and key art. The second page has the synopsis, essentially. Third page has comps. Fourth page has casting. Fifth page is just an image. Sixth page has the team. And the last page is a thank you page. And that is it for our mini deck. And like I was saying earlier, this is really just to get people vibed up and open some doors and have some conversations. It's really visually, I'd say it's on point. Would you say visually at some point?
Yeah, it's very tight visually.
Yeah, it's really tight visually and enticing and exciting.
It's the whole movie in 5 pages.
Yeah.
5 images.
Yeah, essentially 7 images.
7, you're right. Yeah.
The whole movie in 7 images essentially, but it's immersive because pictures tell, a picture's worth 100 words, I believe the saying is, and and it conveys my artistic vision and creative vision for the film, for the look, which is important because a lot of directors, you might just have something to say, but if you can't turn those words into reality and make them look, beautiful or enticing or intriguing or, it's visual storytelling at the end of the day. So, writing a good story is just one part of it. I mean, there's so many parts of it, but the point I'm making is you got to be a visual storyteller if you're going to be telling stories visually. That sounds ridiculous. Anyways, if you like this long form content, click on the circle up here to subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review down below, and I will see you tomorrow for more film development hell. Peace.